So I have a question. Have you ever decided that you wanted to like change your whole life? And so you like research all the things and buy all the things and get all the new outfits and all of that jazz. And then literally within a few days, you drop it faster than like the plans that you had that you really weren't actually going to, but then you just wanted to tell your friends that you were going to it just to make them feel better, just to make yourself feel better. And then you knew in the back of your mind that you really weren't actually going to do that thing. 'Cause same. And if we're being completely honest here, I've done that multiple times recently. Like, I wanted to do this challenge where I ran for 30 days in a row, and I literally lasted 3 days. As this title says, I want to talk about brutally honest fitness advice that I wish someone would have told me like fair and square, because I feel like that actually helped me in my journey, and you guys have been asking for it, so I am going to deliver. This will have no sugarcoating, no tomfoolery, just the facts, just the straight facts that I need you to hear. Mixed in with a little bit of humor, of course, because why not? Nothing has to be this serious. Now, I do want to make something very abundantly clear. I'm not one of those people that are like dry scooping protein powder and spending 40 days and nights at the gym because it's like my entire life. Did I have that phase? Yes. And there's ebb and flows with that too, but like, I'm gonna preach balance here. I'm just gonna preach the things that I know within my heart. And if you guys don't know me, hi, my name is Brighton. I actually am a personal trainer. I've had a love for health and fitness for a very long time. I went on my own fitness journey and lost about 30 pounds and really just did a body recomp. I like to think I know my stuff. I know that you can't trust people on the internet, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but I do like to think I know my stuff because on my free time, I'm researching things, reading articles on fitness. Like, it kind of is my life, but I also know how to preach balance. All right, we got the pre-workout snack. I am eating a Fiber One bar as well as dates and peanut butter. It's so freaking good. The first point I want to get into is fitness and your diet are a way of life. They are not some fad that you can do for like 10 weeks and then just get off of it. Those rarely work, okay? Look at the studies. One of the biggest tips I could ever give you is look at things long term, okay? A lot of people just focus on the next vacation they have or the wedding or anything really. And yes, I totally understand wanting to go through weight loss phases and, changes in your body, but you gotta look long term if you want long term results. Also, I don't know about you, but like cutting out entire food groups sounded like a good idea at first. And then when you think about the implications of that, like there's so many nutrients in each food group that we need, especially carbs, okay? I'm eating carbs before the gym because carbs give you energy. Carbs are not bad. It's just how much food you eat and when you eat and all of those things that, yes, matter, but at the end of the day, it's calories in and calories out. But we're not even going to go there because that's just how it is, all right? And as a person who is mildly smart and sometimes dabbles into research for these videos, there is a study that came out from Harvard that is called Why Diets Don't Work. And they concluded after all of these, all of the things that they do, the whole test subjects and the trial and all of that stuff, that the trick to a quote unquote diet is to pick a diet with foods you actually like, so it's not that hard to stick to, okay? So really, if someone can cut out carbs or do a low carb diet for the rest of their life, like, sure, that's gonna work, probably, unless you start eating like a lot more and start moving your body less. But I think the safest bet is to just do everything in moderation. And if you follow, let's say, people online that preach going full into one diet for the rest of your life, I promise you they're probably going to turn around in the next like 3 to 5 years and realize that maybe that wasn't the move. But just use your discernment and think long term. Now, I do want to talk about the absolute elephant in the room, and that is genetics. Some people on this earth, especially on social media, and you need to pay attention to this, but some people on this earth just look like Greek gods and goddesses. And that may be you listening to this. It probably is, because you're probably just a cutie patootie. But for those of the people that are the normies, that are the normal people and are just trying to be healthy, Genetics play a big part in how you will look and how your muscles will grow and all of these things and where you even carry your fat. I'm not saying this to discourage you at all, okay? I'm just telling you, you need to have realistic expectations on what you can look like. And one of my favorite fitness influencers, Greg Doucette, he says, look at your favorite fitness influencer and then strive to look half as good as that, okay? And that is good enough. Also, I hate to say it, I really do, but some of these Greek gods and goddesses will probably maybe have a shorter lifespan because of certain things that they have decided to choose to do to enhance their body. Not judging, you can do whatever you want, but looks are not everything, even if social media tries to tell you that they are. We got the Alani Nu pre-workout. This is Dream Float flavor. I freaking love this flavor. For those of you listening to this in audio form, I am actually bringing you along a gym workout day. It is going to be a full upper body day. So if you hear me fiddling around or talking about what I'm doing, that is what I'm doing. Okay, we just got here, and I just also want to point out, I'm going to a new gym, and I've been lifting since I was like 17, and I'm still getting gym anxiety walking into a new gym of trying to figure out where the weights are and how to even get in and like all of these things. And so I guess my advice is like, just do it anyways, even if it feels uncomfortable. It's always going to feel uncomfortable before it starts to feel good and before it starts to like really pay off. Another piece of advice, if you keep focusing on what you can't achieve and what you can't do, whether it's genetics or your metabolism being that of a 90-year-old or whatever, hormones, yes, those things are real, but if you keep focusing on what you can't do, what you can't achieve, then you're never going to achieve or believe that you can achieve anything. Does that make sense? I'm not discounting the fact that those things are real and true, and there's a lot of nuance to people's genetics and what they can achieve naturally, but don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. Okay, I'm gonna stop procrastinating going into the gym. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We'll see you in there. Also, real quick, I want all of this to seem like I'm empowering you and I believe in you. I believe fitness has absolutely changed the game for me, changed my entire life, my entire outlook on life, my mental health, my physical health. I could talk about all of the ways it has truly affected me and made me a better person today, and that is what I want to give you, okay? Trying to be a little light in this social media landscape. I believe in you and I love you. All right, let's get back to it. Now, everyone has different levels of what they're working out for and what their aesthetic goals are. Obviously, most people aren't trying to get on a bodybuilding stage or anything like that, but there are still very fundamental principles that you need to be focusing on when you walk into the gym and when you do either your lifts or even with cardiovascular exercises. These are all very fundamental things. The first mistake I see is that you do not have a plan. You're walking into the gym and you're just hitting whatever you feel like hitting. You don't know sets or reps or anything like that. There is this principle called progressive overload. Really what it means is you need to be lifting more weight than last time. You need to be working harder than last time because your body will adapt. So if you're not pushing your body and you're just getting used to the exercise, it'll adapt and you're not getting better, right? So no matter what you're trying to achieve, that is absolutely something you need to be focusing on, and repeatable movements for each body group. And this is to say, I've gone through very different phases in my fitness journey. There's some days I'm so excited to get up and get to the gym. That's like my favorite part of the day. And there's some days that I'm kind of dreading it, or it's just like an off day. Also, I want to point something out that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. If you are someone that can only walk for 5 minutes or work out for 10 minutes and that's all the time you have, or that's all the willpower that you have to muster for the day, awesome, incredible, amazing even, because walking for 5 minutes is better than not moving your body at all. Lifting weights for 10 minutes is better than not doing anything at all. Like, it's all about kind of only comparing yourself to yourself, if that makes sense. Today for me was a rest day, and I've kind of done absolutely nothing. But am I walking around as I'm making this video and as I'm editing, I'm doing little spurts of like 2 to 3 minute walks? Yeah. And that's all really that matters. Now, my next piece of advice, and you're gonna see some parallels between this one and a few other pieces of advice, but this is really important to just drill into your head in the nicest way. Focus on longevity, especially when it comes to mobility and stretching. I know a lot of people, me included, that essentially used to skip all sorts of mobility work and then just go straight to weight training. And yes, you can get away with that for a little bit until you can't. I have not been able to touch my toes until recently, so that is something I'm really working on because I realized that I'm not going to be in my 20s forever. And if I'm not going to be in my 20s forever, I want to start focusing on things that are going to raise my quality of life, and that has pretty much everything to do with stretching and mobility work. Also, I've been getting more into calisthenics, like this L-sit that you see. Comment down below if you guys want me to do a mobility work exercise and or bring you along my calisthenics journey, because I am very much a beginner, but I love a challenge. Okay, I just got home from the gym, and this leads me to my next point because I am refueling right now, and most of you guys listening or watching have way worse of a diet than you probably think. When I was very overweight, I thought like I was eating a decent amount, but it wasn't anything crazy until I like learned more about nutrition and macro and micronutrients and realized just how much food I was eating throughout the day, almost like mindlessly. And I have these chips with me because these are my favorite chips ever, but that is a good example of something that I would just like eat over and over again and like pull out of the pantry without even thinking about it. And you think that that's okay. Eating chips is totally fine, but you have to be very aware on what you're putting into your body, especially when you're first starting out, because you're just so used to doing the things that you usually do, and you don't realize how much of an impact grabbing chip every time you pass the pantry actually has on your journey. And not only that, but we are incredibly stagnant. I implore you to look at your activity levels from an honest perspective. Okay, I'm gonna get real like David Goggins on you for a second. Look at yourself in the mirror. You see how I did like the black screen, okay? If you're watching this, hopefully this will be like reflecting your face. If not, look at yourself in the mirror or just try this exercise out. Think about your entire lifestyle, right? How many times you move your body throughout the week, how many times you move your body throughout the day, what you're eating on a daily basis. Do you feel good? Do you feel good with the type of lifestyle that you have right now? Be honest. Are you happy? Are you happy with how you're feeling? Because if you're happy, totally fine. Like, don't even listen to me at all. But I would argue that a lot of these things that you could implement are going to make you overall happier, have a better quality of life. And okay, here's the thing. I'm saying this as I'm munching on these chips, and I just got a Starbucks because it's freaking fall time and of course I need a Starbucks. So hear what I'm saying, but also know that along your journey, you're gonna find balance. And that is the hope and that is the dream. That's really when you know you've made it, is when you've found the balance, okay? So good. So the last thing that I'll say is you need to be tracking your progress. There's multiple ways to do this. You can do your weight, but measurements actually are a big way to do this, where if you kind of struggle with the scale, start taking measurements, see if there's improvement. Start seeing if you just feel better throughout the day after your exercise, because exercise releases endorphins, the feel-good chemical. But then there's this magical thing that happens, and this is kind of the phase that I'm in right now. I just intuitively now know what I should be eating and how much I should be moving my body, because I like it and I love to do that. And this is all out of love for yourself, okay? It shouldn't be out of hate. If I can leave you with one message, all of this should be out of love for yourself, because the greatest form of self-love is discipline, and discipline in the best way. I think that's one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself, if you're being completely honest, is a healthy, happy feeling body. So you can see your kids and your kids' kids, and you can run around and play and lift your groceries and get up off of your bed when you're old. All of this should be looked at in the lens of self-love, self-discovery, and that's why I think I tie fitness so much into my podcast and everything, because it's the mind, it's the body, it's the spirit. It is all of them together create a happy and fulfilling life. Please let me know if you liked this. Please let me know if you have any questions down below. I'm gonna go on a walk. Until next time, bye.